The recent unrest that took place in Bahrain had a huge impact on the educational sector in the kingdom. Article 7 of the Kingdom of Bahrain's constitution for the year 2002 states that education to be provided as a human right, free of charge and compulsory as its basic and secondary stages. Educational law has explicitly guaranteed this right and laid down legal measures to follow up on parents who deprive their sons and daughters of their right to education. The government of Bahrain allocated a huge budget for education in the year 2010, which amounted to 240 million dinars, about $650 million. This accounts for 12.5% of the total state budget for inclusive education, including students with special needs and the talented ones. Not only does the Kingdom of Bahrain provide the right to education and guarantees it constitutionally and practically all over Bahrain without discrimination, but it provides a set of additional privileges to all students, including free textbooks and transportation, as the state has allocated more than $10 million to this end. The question that is raised today is, what did the political opposition mobility do during the recent upheaval? The political opposition activities discredited efforts made by Bahrain for developing education by issuing statements and speeches made by political opposition blocs. Vandalism, as schools have faced from 2006 to 2010, 36 acts of vandalism, arson and breaking into schools at night, throwing Molotov cocktails which threatened students' lives and disrupted the educational process and incited young students to commit acts of sabotage. The question which arises here is the silence of political societies and that of Bahrain Teachers Society in condemning these acts. As part of involving teachers in decision-making and providing healthy environment for the exchange of experiences, the ministry supported the establishment of the Bahrain Teachers Society logistically and legally through issuing licenses and supporting it financially by providing headquarters and paying for electricity, water and telephone bills, and providing a number of financial grants, most recently granting $13,000 for organizing the educational conference in November 2009. The government allocated $30 million for the first and second phases of increasing salaries and wages of employees in the education sector. The BTS, Bahrain Teachers Society, instigated teachers in schools to protest and demonstrate, although they do not have the legal right to do so. The BTS during the events went on a series of strikes calling to overthrow the regime and suspend the constitution, abusing symbols of the kingdom and issuing 13 statements inciting teachers to go on strikes and sit-ins in the educational institutions, kindergartens and schools for students with special needs. Bahrain Teachers Society was working in collaboration with other sectarian and political societies, including non-licensed ones. This has resulted in the following: inciting students in schools and kindergartens not to go to schools and engaging them in demonstrations and sit-ins, inciting them to carry placards and chanting political slogans calling for toppling the Bahraini regime. Encouraging 6 to 8-year-old students to take to streets